What's going on, guys? Just got back from game hunting. There will be no footage of in that store. It's going to be... literally just got in back. By far one of the worst experiences in a store that I've ever had. Second time I've ever been to this game store. And I mean stores in general. Kmart's, Walmart's, Target's, food stores, any fucking store. Worst experience I've ever had in any store. There's going to be a dedicated video about how bad this fucking store sucked ass. It is that bad of a store. I think Triple P, Power Player Paul, I think he might live near this place because I know he lives in Virginia. I think well, I'm not going to say where, but I know he lives in Virginia. So he's probably been to this store or maybe debated on it. I would never go to this store ever again. I truly wouldn't. The prices in that place were astoundingly bad. Let me try to think of some examples I saw. There was an original Halo Edition Xbox, $200. Without the controller even. Power cord and AV cord, $200. You can get those for $120 with the controller on eBay. So not only were they way higher than eBay, well, let me just think of some other shit that they had overpriced. Just everything in there was at least 20 to 80% higher than it was on eBay. Luckily, Xbox collecting is still cheap, so those prices weren't affected by these high prices. And that's just the tip of the prices are just the tip of the iceberg for how bad of an experience I had at this place. But so to start off, I brought 3 games with me to get resurfaced. So I brought Knights of the Old Republic, which I got last weekend. Looks crispy now. Rainbow Six Black Arrow 3, or Rainbow Six 3 Black Arrow, got that resurfaced. And after long ado, we went out last weekend to get this resurfaced. Finally got that resurfaced. So Jurassic Park is finally good, and I can only presume it'll be playable. Now for the actual pickups that I got, they're all exclusives just for the Xbox. I'm trying to squash this out at least by the end of spring. And I'm only like 20 away, so I don't think it'll be very hard. We got Wings of War, cool World War I shooting game, like an airplane game, obviously. There are some turret sections though, so I guess you get to, shoot, or anti-aircraft turrets rather. So that looks pretty sweet actually. Nico found that when we randomly, Googled it while we were out one day, and then of course it wasn't exclusive. This one I don't know much about. It's by Groove Studio. It's some kind of first-person shooter. It looks really cool. Also an exclusive. Warpath it's called. So this looks actually pretty badass. It looks like a late launch title because it's got the 480p HD capability, and the graphics on this look really good. It has a very similar look to Republic Commando, Star Wars Republic Commando. So this could be a really cool game. Definitely excited to give this a shot, and Wings of War for that matter. Nico picked this up a long time ago, and he actually snaked it from me the time we went out. And I've been looking for it ever since, and that's another exclusive. This one actually says it on the box. Those two don't actually say it. There's so many stickers on all these games too. But Dungeons and Dragons Heroes. So you can play this 1 to 4 player. Actually looks kind of cool, like a really good couch co-op game. I miss couch co-op, so maybe one day me and Nico will do some kind of playthrough with this, play for like an hour or so and record us playing and that kind of stuff. Could be really fun. Doesn't support system links, so we'd have to play on the same TV. Now, another game that doesn't say exclusive on the box, but it is, that is Serious Sam number 2. Not really much to say about these games, other than it's basically a running gun, like a first-person running gun. You just run around shooting everything with all sorts of ridiculous weapons. These games actually graphically are really impressive. They usually look, for whatever generation they're in, they're usually pushing the hardware pretty hard. I don't think they've made one of these in a while, though, a Serious Sam game. They're definitely cool, though. And Nico, I actually traded him Blowout for the original Xbox, but that's on PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. However, he traded me Group S Challenge, which is a arcade racer from Capcom, which is an exclusive, but it doesn't say it. Happy to add this to my collection. This is pretty uncommon. It's not expensive. Honestly, none of this stuff is really expensive for Xbox. Well, not none of it, but there's maybe 20 games that are over 20 bucks, and then even then they're still under 40 bucks. So they're not expensive. However, I'll get to that at the end of the video. topic I wanted to bring up. But yeah, really cool game. We actually played this one time when I was over at his house for probably a good 40 minutes. Really fun racing game. Of course, he gave me the Snickle Fritz case out of everything he had. You know, he swapped it and gutted it out of game and gave me the shitty case. However, I've done that to him too before. Another one that I recently found out was an exclusive. That is Roller Coaster Tycoon for the Xbox. Not much to say about this game. You just build roller coaster theme parks, basically. Could be fun. A little bit. That's on. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. Now, I knew there was a Pirates game that's exclusive to the Xbox. There might actually be two that are exclusive to the Xbox. I have never even seen or heard of this game before, so I think I might have just found something incredibly rare again. I haven't even texted Nico to ask him about this one or look it up myself yet. And this game is called Pirates: The Legend of the Black Cat. I've literally never seen or heard this, never seen it in a game lot, never seen it in another game store, so it's rare. I know that, but I don't know if this is the exclusive Pirates game. I'm not entirely sure, but just in case it is the other Pirates game, Pirates of the Caribbean, bought that too, because I'm pretty sure it's this one, but this one also might need to be added to my list as an exclusive. So also got Pirates of the Caribbean. I almost bought this last weekend, but the disc was just too bad at Second and Charles. Alright. Now, I do love Vietnam games. I kind of wish they'd make more of them. To me, it's just a good atmosphere and like jungle fighting and that kind of stuff. This one is also an exclusive. It's called Men of Valor. The graphics on this game are really good. Also supports the HD 480p. I would assume most of the games that actually support that are really like 2004, 2005, 2006 titles for the Xbox. So I would presume this is a later game. That's strange. But yeah, so it's a later life cycle game. Well, actually, I guess if it was 06, then the Xbox was already technically dead at that point. We got Mad Dash Racing. So every time I see this, I always ask Nico, I'm like, is it an exclusive? And then we always flip-flop back and forth, and I'm like, no, it isn't, yes, it is, no, it isn't, yes, it is. And it is. Doesn't say it, but it is an exclusive. This is a really strange game. One of my favorite YouTubers, Implant Games, he actually is one of the inspirations for me starting my channel. Actually, you know what? It does say only on Xbox on it. Would you look at that? But yeah, he actually did a review on this a while ago, and then I was going to get it anyway. It's actually made by Crystal Dynamics, so this is probably one of their earlier games. Obviously I was going to get it for the collection, but like it piqued my interest enough to where like I was actively looking for it. It's not very rare. I've seen it probably about 4 or 5 times this year alone, but I've never seen it like the manual would be rough or missing the manual or the disc would be too scratched, but this is a nice copy. We got 2 more. Tao Fang Fist of the Lotus. Tight White actually just picked this up the other day. However, this looks to be the cleanest used game I've ever bought at a store. The manual's mint, the disc is mint, and like even the plastic on around the clamshell or whatever is just like not a single scratch on it, which is really crazy. Now this one, I just recently found out about this game being exclusive to the Xbox. Now, I think this was one of those things where it was exclusive to the Xbox in America, but then I think in the rest of the world, I think it was exclusive on the PS2, like Europe and Japan. And that is Special Forces Nemesis Strike for the original Xbox. This actually looks like a really badass game. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Like, I've known about it for probably a month or 2, but then I've only really been actively looking for it for the last couple weeks. But it kind of reminds me of like maybe Just Cause a little bit. I don't know if it's an open world game. It's definitely a shooter, but it's a third-person shooter. And it's got like skydiving and stuff, kind of like Just Cause does. And so it looks really cool. But yeah, so if you're wondering why I'm like recording on a shittier camera, my Samsung Galaxy S6 blew up, and then my friend gave me a Galaxy S5. That took a shit on me. So now I'm back on my iPhone 4S. So the camera quality is going to be a little lackluster for a little while. You're just going to have to deal with it. Supposedly it says it's in 1080p, so it might look better than I think. I have no idea. But that's that. The horror story of this game store will be coming on Wednesday. And for any of you that have stuck around long enough to get to this part in the video, one thing I wanted to comment on, all of you who follow me on my small-ass channel obviously follow Metal Jesus Rocks. Okay, he's the biggest gaming YouTuber there is. That actually at least has credibility of being an actual gamer and not just having his tits out and other shit like that. But, cool guy, I have all the respect for him in the world. But, with that being said, since he has almost 400,000 people following him, that means whatever he picks up, even if just 1% of those people pick up that game, it's going to immediately make it rare. He's starting to collect for the Xbox. So I foresaw this coming, and I knew he was. He's going to be popping out videos left and right because he's been posting them on Twitter and Instagram and talking about them here and there in his videos. I know he's collecting for it pretty heavily, so I'm glad I've got about 20 left on the exclusives, and then I'm done with the Xbox. I've already gotten all the semi-exclusives where they're not on the GameCube out of the way, like Sniper Elite, you know, Godzilla or Jurassic Park, that kind of stuff. The ones that actually interest me. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to get finally getting close to this, finishing this set off. And me and Nintendo 13 are finally working out a deal on some Game Gear games, and I won that contest from him. Thank you again. Looking forward to getting that. It was a GBA SP Onyx one. It looked to be in pretty good shape, and a new, never used case before for the SP, which is really awesome. And then I think he said he was going to throw in some games with that as well for the giveaway. That was his 200 subscriber giveaway. And then we also worked out a deal for X amount of money, not a lot. He's a good guy. And for some Game Gear games, it's 7 sealed Game Gear games, which is pretty cool. I might, trade them with Nico, or I might keep them. I'm not entirely sure because he is collecting for the Game Gear. But at the same time, I'm not going to actively collect for it. But if I get 7 boxed games, I might keep them, since I obviously paid for them. As far as hunting with Nico goes, it's kind of getting to the point where it's just like, it's fun that we're both collecting for the Xbox, but it's kind of annoying at the same time because like we'll both literally be reaching for a game at the same time on a shelf because we're both collecting all the exclusives. Now, it's gotten to the point where our sets are different because he'll go out hunting by himself, I'll go out, I'll eBay, he'll eBay. But we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We've both got about 20 to 40 left between the two of us to get, and we're both looking for the same shit at this point for the most part. So it's getting to the point where it's kind of annoying to collect with somebody who's hunting the same stuff as you. I mean, it's fun because he's my cousin and I love him, but it's annoying at the same time because then we're both literally reaching for the same game and then it's just like, I want it, no, I want it, no, I want it, no, I want it, no, you take it, no, you take it. So I mean, it's fun though at the same time, but. So he's going for the Game Gear, so I might just end up trading them to him just so that like he can be going for that, and then I'm going to be going for, kind of trying to collect for the Saturn is what my next goal is. No real set, I want to get a lot of the RPGs because I'm really getting into RPGs more lately. It's one genre I've never played until just this year, really, that I started to get into them. I was trying to work out a deal with another YouTuber to trade a sealed copy of try and trade this to a different YouTuber. It's a sealed copy of a limited run game. I have a big box of limited run games here that are still sealed. I was going for the full set of those, and then once I decided that it was too impossible to do, I gave up, and now I'm getting rid of them. So I'm trying to trade that to another YouTuber, and he's being reluctant to trade anything with me because I guess he prides a lot of his games, which I do too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in my collection I would never want to trade either. So like, I'm not mad about it or anything, but yeah, so I'm trying to get rid of that and get more in RPGs for the Saturn and that kind of stuff, and then maybe some Dreamcasts and Genesis. I'm trying to do more systems than I never played as a kid. So I never really had Sega stuff when I was real young, and I definitely never had PS1 at all until I think I got my first PS1 maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and then I started collecting for that about 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, obviously I could play stuff on the PS2, but I just never did for some reason. So I've been watching a lot of videos trying to figure out what are some good PS1 games. And oddly enough, GameSack just did a video today. Came out real early this morning. Sega Saturn versus the PS1, and I saw quite a few games that piqued my interest in there. Unfortunately, a lot of them are expensive, and like probably would have to be bought online, so that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. But so those are kind of some of the things that I'm shooting for once I get done the Xbox set, and who knows? We'll see what happens. I mean, I've been getting some pretty good deals lately. Not really today. This store was kind of a bust. They had a lot of GameCube stuff, but it was all terribly priced. Fire Emblem, another example, that was $150 there. Skies of Arcadia was like $98, which is a little overpriced, not terribly, but a little bit. Chibi Robo was $100, so that's a little overpriced as well. I don't know. It just wasn't. I'm never gonna go back to that store. And like I said, I'm making a Yelp account just to make a bad review for that store because it was that awful. So stay tuned for that story on Wednesday. Should be pretty entertaining. And yeah, hopefully you're enjoying these pickups. And like I said, let me look at my list here real quick. Yeah, it's probably a good 20 or 25 games I still need to get the exclusives done. But it's getting there. It's getting there. But peace out for now. Till next time. Catch you later, guys.
Come here, you mother...